What is going on, everybody? It is your favorite dating coach, Elliot Scott, and as you can see by the title below, we're going to talk about how to re-attract a guy who is hot and cold, okay? Now, if you haven't yet, please subscribe. Just click the red button below. I'll love you forever, along with the bell notification, and if you want to work with yours truly, such as this young lady right here, this is an email session, or if you want to get a Skype or phone session, links are down below in the description, okay? Now, I'm going to read this, and then I'm going to go over it. What I told her and a little more. Hopefully she's watching this. Dated a guy who pursued me hard 3 years ago, and we were together for 6 weeks. He was extremely keen, and we spent almost every day together. He had a history of mental health issues, starting heading towards a dark place mentally right before we broke up, and things ended suddenly. He's now back in contact. He comes back for a few weeks and disappears before coming back again. So hot and cold, hot and cold. We'll talk on the phone for hours or hang out all night without having sex, and then he'll disappear. He never mentioned being in another relationship, but I know he's been in an off and on relationship. I know he's likely coming to me when he's lonely and is filling a void. He still maintains he broke up with me and it wouldn't work out between us because I'm perfect and he's trash. Whatever the fuck that shit. I hate when guys say that stuff. Which is the whole theme when we broke up. Is this a lost cause, or if I play my cards right, could I re-attract him? So first off, I want to tell women, I did tell her this, but I do want to tell her this just in this video, just in case she thinks it, or she's thinking of the idea. It's not your job to fix him. It is not your job to make him better. And I'm bringing this up because of the last sentence where you're saying, well, he thinks you're perfect and he's trash. Listen, I don't want you to try to console him and make him feel better about himself so he's able to date you. That is not your job. That is his job. A man needs to bring himself back to 100%, or at least to a dateable state, and then put himself back in the market. Not be some broken, and when I say broken, I don't want you to think I'm poking at mental health. I just mean like low ego men and all these type of men in general. It is not your job to play that role of mother hen and nurse him back to health. He needs to do that on the off side or on the side, right? And then bring himself back as a dateable option to women, okay? So that being said, jumping into this, here's the thing. Your problem is not to re-attract a guy. The problem is not re-attraction. It's scarcity. The fact that you are giving this guy the time of day who you know is emotionally unavailable, okay, who you said is filling a void by having you in there, okay, or coming to you, who you guys have been on and off again in the past, and there's big gaps between all this type of attraction. Your foundation with this guy is very, very sturdy. It is not a foundation to build a health, and the guy has mental health issues, which again is a serious thing. It's a very serious thing, and that needs to be worked on. That is not a healthy foundation to build attraction on. But with that being said, put even that aside, the problem is scarcity. He has access to the assets, okay, which causes him to take you for granted, and there is no urgency or threat. If he believes he can come and go, and you guys talked for 3 years prior, now he's back and he's been back and forth with you, okay, there is no consequence for his actions. There is no urgency. There is no threat. There is nothing in his mind where he's thinking, man, I really need to take you off the market because if I don't, someone else will. Why would he ever think that? Why would he ever think that? If you guys talked in the past, you're talking now, and you've been on and off. Again, he comes and goes. He uses you to fill a void, which again tells me he likes access to the assets. It's all fluffy. It's all very convenient for him. Why would he commit? Why would he commit? There's no reason for him to. And this kind of contradicts the shit he says where he says, well, you're perfect and I'm trash. Well, if that's the case, then why is he using you the way he's using you? See, a man's words don't line up, baby. His words are not lining up here. Why would he treat you the way he's treating you then if he thinks that? He's an energy vampire. He is draining you. He says that, but he is draining you of these resources, right? To replenish his, to fill that void, to replenish his ego, to feel better about himself. But then he takes a hike again. So he must not think a lot of you, or he's taking you for granted. But if he's taking you for granted, then he wouldn't say you're perfect and he's trash. Something is not lining up here. The problem is not reattraction. It is not your job to reattract him. It is not your job to fix him. It is not your job to make him feel better about himself. It is your job to raise your standards. It is your job to raise your value, to make these assets and resources a little more scarce, and to not let him take advantage of it. Because you're actually in this, believe it or not, you're not in the situation you're in right now because of him. We can establish he's in the situation and state he's in and needs to get help for it and all that kind of stuff. But the fact that you're playing your cards based on your emotions, that you are now lowering your standards to a point to keep him around. You desire him so much that you fear losing him. And because of that, he is consciously or subconsciously taking advantage of these assets. He is taking you for granted because you are letting him do this to you. There is no urgency. I know I'm saying it a million different ways here. There's no threat. There's no reason for him to commit whatsoever right now. Why would he? Why would he? Okay? So ladies, it's sometimes not about building attraction. It's sometimes not letting the guy see the real you or the assets or what he's missing out on. It's all scarcity. It's all value. Okay? And again, there's no threat here. He doesn't have to make this decision with you, okay? So you got to change that. You got to nip it in the ass. If that means losing him, that means losing him, okay? So ladies, with that being said, I love you. Take care and peace.